Now we start this hour in Europe, where the US and the European Union have reached a new major trade agreement with key impacts on autos, energy and agriculture. US President Trump confirmed a 15% tariff will hit EU exports, including autos. Trump says Europe will also invest $600 billion in the US and buy $750 billion in energy. The European Union will also purchase US military equipment. Let's take a look at what the US president said on the deal.
Very important, they're going to purchase $750 billion worth of energy. So that's going to be great. And $600 billion worth of investments into the United States over and above what they have. I think we both wanted to make a deal. You said something that is very important. It's going to bring us closer together. I think this deal will bring us very close together, actually. Sort of, it's a partnership in a sense, but it's a very good point, and it's something that's...
EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen confirmed a 15% tariff on pharma and autos, with 0 for 0 tariffs on some agri and strategic goods. No decision yet on spirits, however. Steel tariffs to be cut with quotas. She called the deal fair, balance and a historic transatlantic partnership, with major US LNG purchases expected. Here's what the European Commission President said.
Today we have also agreed on a 0 for 0 tariffs on a number of strategic products. This includes all aircraft and component parts, certain chemicals, certain generics, semiconductor equipment, certain agricultural products, natural resources and critical raw materials. And we will keep working to add more products to this list.
Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has called the deal decisive and positive, while German Chancellor Merz welcomed it as avoiding trade escalation and protecting Germany's key interests. President Trump says the US is finalizing tariff-linked deals with several countries, including China, Thailand and Cambodia, with most deadlines set for August the 1st, excluding steel and aluminium. We're now joined by Spencer Critchley, who's a communication strategist. He joins us live from California. Spencer, this has been a long-running saga. The US and the EU finally agree on a trade deal in Scotland. What more details can you give on this?
Well, I think I can offer some context. I'm surprised to see some mainstream media outlets describing this as a victory for Trump and therefore for the United States, when I would say it would be more accurate to describe it as less awful than it would have been if the Trump tariff had stayed at 30%. But 15% is still far higher than it was. The average reciprocal tariff that the United States has with Europe and other countries, I believe, is about 2.4%. So going up into these numbers like 10%, 15%, 19% against the Philippines recently, or as high as 30% and more, is not a good thing. It's going to end up being paid for by American consumers and American businesses. It's going to slow down trade, and that will not happen only if those tariffs go lower. So the tariffs themselves are not a good thing.
Spencer, a huge grievance for Trump is this $230 billion trade deficit that the EU has with the United States. In turn, Ursula von der Leyen, during these discussions, did speak of, quote, rebalancing the relationship. Was this just to align with Trump's language and strike a deal faster?
I think so. One of the embarrassing new features of international relations during the second Trump administration in particular is that foreign leaders have obviously learned that they need to flatter Trump shamelessly, as Ursula von der Leyen did today, and as other leaders have been doing routinely recently. And, you know, if you're actually strong and successful and confident, you don't need to be flattered. So this is not a sign of strength on Trump's part. It's a sign of the weakness of his tender ego. And, you know, to hear the head of the EU using these words like it's a strong, huge deal, using this Trumpian vocabulary, and describing him as a tough negotiator, this is obviously not what she or any of these other leaders think. I think she tipped her hand as to what she actually thinks when she described that one of the key benefits to this deal is that it promises to restore stability and predictability, which is at least an indirect reference to the hysterical volatility we've seen with Trump constantly changing his mind.
Yes, indeed, Spencer. Thank you very much. You are staying with us for more tariff-related updates.